What's going on, family? It's your guy, Bora, the Lucky Libra, and thank you for tapping into another episode. All right, family. As you can see by the title, we're picking up the Signs Through the Houses series with where we at with it. Cancer in the 6th house. All right. Shout out to all my Aquarius risings. Okay. Before we get into it, make sure to like, share, subscribe so we can circulate these gems and this awareness. All right. And make sure to tap into my website to connect with the Lucky Libra and tap into my Patreon if you like to dive deeper. Let's get right into it. Now, Cancer in the 6th house, most likely you're an Aquarius rising. You might be a Capricorn rising like me. I have this placement and I'm a Capricorn rising, all right, depending on your chart is, set up with intercepted houses and whatnot. Or you may even be a, what's the name? Sag rising. You may be a Sag rising, all right? Not a Sag rising. You're either Capricorn rising or a Pisces rising. That's a Sag rising. All right. Now, Cancer in the 6th house. All right. What is the 6th house? The 6th house is an earth house. Earth houses deal with career, stability, security, how we get into building that in this lifetime. The 6th house rules schedule, routine, how we're influenced to deal with scheduling and organizing things in our life. Huge emphasis on the workplace, right? Things we may experience in the workplace. Not just the physical, environment of the jobs you may work at, not just what you experience there, but also what you experience when you go about building things and structuring things overall in your life, all right? Not everybody works at a physical, location or whatnot. Some people work from home. Some people have their own individual businesses or whatnot, right? So we seeing how you deal with them energies. And we also have influences of wellness here, diet, regimen in the 6th house. So we bring Cancer here. Now, Cancer's cardinal water. It's ruled by the moon. Okay, so this is like a sextile placement to the 6th house. Cancer's home 2 houses away in the 4th house. So when we bring Cancer here, for one, the moon rules your 6th house. You need to know what house you have the moon in, because whatever house you have the moon in is going to be bringing experiences in that house to your 6th house, and whatever house you have the moon in is going to be the house that you're going to be always influenced to structure, work on, and craft and have in your schedule, right? It's going to be this house is going to have a lot to do with career for you. And when we look at Cancer here, now for one thing, wherever Cancer is at in the chart, it has strong potential to develop an emotional connection here. All right. So when you put Cancer in that 6th house, yes, your feelings and emotions is going to be in the 6th house. It's going to be in work. It's going to be in career. It's going to be how you get into the bag. It's going to be worrying about your emotions. Going to be worried and rattled about things, dealing with how much you're going to get, what your paycheck going to look like at the end of the week. Like, I put in 47 hours this week. My shit need to look like this, especially because I got this birthday party I need to get to this weekend and this bill to pay. So I need to know how much I make like this. This is where your feelings and emotions be at sometimes. Cancer in the 6th house. Now, it could play out like that from a micro or macro perspective, but when we do look at Cancer in the 6th house, this is going to be an area that you care about. So you start to develop care for the 6th house, and whether you naturally develop it here or whether you manifest situations in your life to influence you to care and put some heart, right? Cancer rule the heart. Put your heart into the 6th house. Learn to devote yourself to the 6th house. Possibly learn to, develop some blood, sweat, and tears in the 6th house when you got Cancer in the 6th house, right? And wherever Cancer's at in the chart, we have to learn to react to it. So you may manifest situations especially out the home environment. It might even be your mother, especially at the home environment. Family or loved ones may be the ones that have strong influences of you being on top of your 6th house, aka you being on top of your responsibilities, things that they know you're supposed to be working on, things that they know you devoted on building and structuring, or your career life. Parents, family, mother may naturally have a huge influence on what you do in career and how you work about things, or may even deal with power and control issues, trying to because Cancer's strong as hell. It's water, but it's a strong ass tidal wave of motherfucking water. So wherever Cancer's at, sometimes your mother, that motherly energy can come strong with what influences it brings, whether it's channeling your mom or using another family member, loved one, or whatnot to make you feel something in that house. And that's how it may play out with family and parents and loved ones, especially the mother in the 6th house. Very strong ideals of where you should be working on, what you should be doing in career, how you should be working on things, right? How to structure your life, your schedule, routine. May even come down to your mother having a strong influence on things when it came to cleaning up your room or when you was younger and stuff, little little tedious duties in around the home and whatnot. You know, your parents may have had a strong influence on that. Mom may have a strong influence on that. Now, but overall, you start to learn how to react and care about this house. Now, this is the thing, because the moon rules this house. Not only do you develop emotional connection here, but when you understand how important, when you start to understand how important your sixth house is, when you start to understand the value of the sixth house, aka the value of working on something, structuring something, scheduling something, and managing your wellness through the process of building something, when you start to understand the significance of that in life, which we all will, whether you want to be act ignorant to it or whether you want we naturally all have awareness of all 12 houses, because we are the 12 houses. We are the signs. So you're either being ignorant to your intuition, or, you're not acknowledging things in your shadow side or whatnot. So when this individual Capricorn rising starts to understand the true significance of schedule, routine, putting things together, this is when they can start to build heavy frustrations in life if they're not putting their heart into it. Because now you understand the significance of what can grow, what can manifest when you put your heart into working, scheduling something. They may naturally have an influence of putting their heart into their work ethic, work routine. This is why Capricorn risings, they are gonna possibly be nonchalant or real reserved towards becoming a part of something that requires them to work, whether it's a business with others or a business idea their friend brings to them, because they know once they work on something, that moon energy triggers in the sixth house and they put their heart into their shit. They're willing to sacrifice things in the sixth house. They're willing to go through, develop wounds for what they want to build in the sixth house, right? So, once they are locked into something, when you got Cancer in the sixth house, once you are locked into something, once again, Cancer is one of the most powerful manifestors in the solar system. It's dealing with moon energy. The moon gravitates a lot of energy. The moon connects us to so much in our memory, in our past life, to equip us with the intuition and that spiritual direction to do things. The moon attracts, and the moon deals with emotions and vibrations. And when you pour a lot of emotion and vibration into things, that's how you feed something. So when a Cancer in the sixth house individual learns to devote themselves to something in this house, they could start to surprise themselves and wow themselves, because they could get so locked in, so devoted, so emotionally inserted and connected into what they're trying to build, to the point, time is moving, but what's being built, they put so much energy and heart and blood, sweat, and tears into something for 3 months. In the next 6 months, things just shoot out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but things just blossom based off of how hard they devoted themselves in the sixth house, how much heart, how much emotion, how much their conscious was directed to this house. We know the moon is an important aspect to the chart. So it naturally makes Leo and sun placements. And naturally, the moon and the sun are naturally important as fuck. So Leo and Cancer influences in your chart are going to be powerful, even if you don't have signs in them, because the sun and moon rule these houses. So even if you don't have what's the name, even if you don't have placement in Leo, the house you have Leo in, you're still gonna be influencing energies to make you gain consciousness and awareness in this house, and possibly express yourself here. And the house that you have Cancer in, even if you don't have no placements in Cancer, you're naturally going to have the influences to connect, understand, react, and feel things in this house. Maybe sensitive towards things in this house, aka this is why the Cancer in the sixth house individual, when they sixth house ain't in motion the way they want it to be in motion, due to their laziness, due to distractions, that becomes very frustrating. It could be overwhelming. It could be very overwhelming. But boy, things can manifest quick here, though. Things can manifest quick where you got Cancer in your chart. Real talk, when you get your moon to really react to that motherfucking house the way it's supposed to be. All right. Once again, know what house you have the moon in. Now, that's another thing with Cancer. We know Cancer deal with nurture, understanding. So we start dealing with, culinary arts, food, feeding, meals. We start dealing with that energy with Cancer. Food is a form of nurture in a way, and when we deal with wellness here, when we deal with wellness in the sixth house, we deal with diet, regimen. This house rules the nervous system. Cancer is going to develop emotional intelligence of the sixth house. All right. So as a Capricorn rising, you're going to start to understand how what you're trying to build, structure, and stabilize in your life, how that will, excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. This whole video, I kept saying Capricorn rising. I'm sorry, y'all. You may be a Capricorn rising. You may be a Pisces rising, but this is my Aquarius rising. Sorry, guys. I keep saying Capricorn rising because I'm a Cap rising and I have this placement. So I know some of y'all probably like, Capricorn, I thought it was Aquarius rising. You feel me? So excuse me, guys. Sorry. But, and a lot of the things I was saying about Capricorn risings in the first house, I don't even have to, like, usually if I made that type of mistake, I'd cut the video off. But the thing is, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. So y'all still have the same ruler in the first house. And we know the traits that Capricorn and Aquarius share because they have Saturn-like influences, even though it's different. But there is going to be an influence of structure and building in the first house period of Saturn there, right? And so when we get into I don't remember the specific point I was about to make before I corrected myself on that Capricorn Aquarius thing, but okay, food and shit, yeah. So Aquarius rises, you know, you guys start to develop emotional intelligence around understanding what the subconscious goes through, what the nervous system may experience when you're exerting so much of your heart, emotions, feelings, and work ethic into something, right? Into scheduling, routining, and building something. So, you know, they start to understand how to recharge, refuel here. Remember, the moon revitalizes, you know, the moon refreshes. The relationship between the moon and the sun, the moon reflects the sun. The moon is also revitalizing the sun in a way, right? So when we look at Cancer in this house, it may really start to develop an understanding of things to help nurture the vessel, nurture the subconscious, nurture the body to help it, you know, to help it deal with more efficiency when it comes to the sixth house, you know, so it's not overwhelmed here. So they may get into different things, different diets by default. These are things they may start to really care about. They may even get into dealing with culinary arts. Cancer in the sixth house, they may deal with culinary arts. They may deal with, you know, things dealing with cooking, diet, regimen, teaching about diets, regimens with Cancer in the sixth house. That may really be their shit here. They may really be into wellness from a diet perspective here, you know, and teach about how all the things with our diet affect the subconscious. Remember, Cancer is all about the subconscious, the moon energy. So yes, they could really dive into that Aquarius rises. I definitely see Aquarius rises out there very conscious of how they deal with their diet. Now that I think about it, you know. So yes, and then it's cardinal as well. So we can't you're gonna have a strong influence to want to start things a lot in this house. Now, keeping things in motion, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. All right. Be careful of not becoming too comfortable in your sixth house, because Cancer does want to create a comfort zone where it's at too. So you can't get too comfortable in this house. Can't. That's the thing. Cancer want to create a comfort zone, but this is a house that deal with work. So you got to learn how to channel, you know, you got to learn how to channel your, what's the name? You know, that energy, that emotion, that, you know, that devotion. You got to learn how to channel that shit in this house. And Cancer got to learn to get up and get to it and put in some work and not just be, you know, content with how it's scheduled and routine. It wants to excel. You want to excel here, not become content and not settle. All right. Because there's powerful energy in the sixth house. So that's what we got going on, family. It's your guy, Boro, the Lucky Libra. Make sure to tap into my website. If you'd like to connect with the Lucky Libra, make sure to tap into my Patreon. If you'd like to dive deeper, all right, make sure to like, share, subscribe so we can circulate these gems in awareness, all right? So shout out to my Aquarius rising. Shout out to everybody with that Cancer up in that sixth house. And next, we're going to be getting into Leo in the sixth house. All right, family? Until next time, peace.